All right, what is up? We are live at the end of the Cota race for the Cota post race. Christopher Bell, your winner, in the number 19, his second win on the season, establishing himself as the early favorites. Doesn't get talked about often, but hopefully he gets talked about a lot now. Not a lot of controversy at the end of this one, so hopefully this time we will be talking about mostly a Christopher Bell victory, but he had to go through some tough competition to get that win. One of those competitors, the Rebel Bourbon Chevrolet number 8 of Kyle Busch, who put every wheel right, did just about everything you could do right, just was on a little bit of a different pit strategy. He ends up in a fifth. Main competitor there to Christopher Bell. William Byron puts on a hard charge there at the end as well. Try to give Christopher Bell some problems. Ends up finishing in second place. Another Toyota man in third place there, Tyler Reddick, your pole sitter in the Beast Toyota. Chevrolet driver Chase Elliott ends up in fourth place. Already mentioned Kyle Busch there in fifth, but Chase Elliott had a little bit of an interesting day, broke the toe link. He was sort of out of it, but took tires there on that last pit stop and used those fresh tires to his advantage to get that fourth place finish. Had a fast car, but like I said, the toe link issue caused him a lot of problems throughout the day, but able to salvage a good finish. Another man who had a really fast race car, but I don't know if they missed it on the last adjustment or if that set of tires didn't agree with him or what happened there, or he just didn't have any type of fire off speed. But sixth place, not a bad run. But if this thing had gone green for a long period of time, I think the 88 car would have been a factor for the win here. But he ends up in sixth place. Chris Buescher here in seventh place. I think he is going to be your first Ford that I see. Yes, the first Ford going to be seventh place here for Chris Buescher. Did not hear a whole lot from the Fords today. I don't know what happened, or maybe they just missed it overall as a group over there at Ford. Noah Gragson in eighth place. Good run for him. I think that's the best run for this team so far, the four car at least. So a good run for Noah Gragson off the top of my head. I might be wrong about that. Alex Bowman also had a good day. Pretty sure he took tires there with Chase Elliott. Had an up and down day. I don't know how many times he had track limits and all kinds of other issues, but Alex Bowman had an eventful day, ends up in ninth place. Given everything that happened, got to be happy with that. Todd Gilliland, Pickle Todd, 10th place finisher there. Then you got Michael McDowell, Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar, Chase Briscoe, and Brad Keselowski, who I saw somebody in the chat say got heat exhaustion, rounds out your top 15. And then just the rest of your running order, 16 to 37, going to be Justin Haley, Riley Herbst, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, John Hunter Nemechek, Cole Custer, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, Eric Jones, Ty Dillon, Zane Smith, AJ Allmendinger, Cody Ware, Kyle Larson, who had a massively eventful day. Tire came off at one point. He spun out and couldn't get the car refired for a little while. Super bad day for him. Ryan Preece in 33rd, Ty Gibbs, Austin Dillon, who got Denny Hamlin slid through and took out Austin Dillon, kind of ruined his day. Then you got Daniel Suarez and Connor Zilic, who, of course, ran into each other when Daniel Suarez spun out or got spun. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I remember those two hit each other and basically ended their day. So Earth 2 winner, Connor Zilic. All right, we do have the points. So your points as it stands right now after 3 races, 2 wins for Christopher Bell, but he's only in fourth place. Third place going to be Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney in second, and your points leader as it stands right now with 116 points, 2 more points than Ryan Blaney, is going to be William Byron. Chase Elliott, your fifth place man, Bubba Wallace in sixth, Alex Bowman seventh, Michael McDowell eighth, Kyle Busch ninth, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 10th, Austin Cindric 11th, Chris Buescher 12th, Joey Logano 13th, John Hunter Nemechek 14th, Carson Hocevar 15th, Kyle Larson 16th. As it stands right now, would be your man on the outside looking. The man on the outside looking in would be Denny Hamlin in 17th. SVG in 18th, Todd Gilliland in 19th, Ross Chastain in 20th. So there's your top 20 in points. And let's jump into the chat. See what you guys want to talk about. Do you think this is the best Cota race so far? Or do you think, was the new Cota layout for this track a success? Right now, overwhelmingly, the answer is yes, but that is the poll question. That's what I think too. But I wanted to see what you guys think, because what I think is not always what everybody else thinks. So I wanted to throw a poll up there and see how it's going. Start here with lanes. Rebel Bourbon scheme looked good as well, says in between the lanes. Yeah, I thought it was a good looking scheme for sure. Chrome Diesel saying Brad got heat exhaustion. That's unfortunate. I hate that happens. Hopefully he gets the treatment and all that, but still got a pretty good finish, even dealing with all that. It was a great race for a road course, says PC Gone Road. I think so too. Probably one of the better road course races we've seen in quite some time. Definitely, in my opinion, the best Cota race for sure. I would say the new Cota was a stunning success, says Shy. Indeed. I know a lot of people were concerned about it. At first, with the layout, they wanted that long. They didn't think there was going to be a lot of passing zones without that long straightaway. So, straightaway was removing the straightaway was a success. It looked like, at least for this race. So, by all standards, it looks like a good race for sure. The Seabell and KB factor uh, had me feeling in such suspense. I was hoping Seabell would spin the 8 and we could see a fight. I've been sick and hitting my head and fighting a Caucasian, but I'm here, says John P. So there you go. John P. fighting a little bit of a flu, but he's taking some White Russians, and that's how he's going to help to get himself over it. So good for him. I like the medicine strategy there. It's an aggressive but smart way to go about it, in my opinion. Sir Wood Rooster. Ticket on the NASCAR schedule is North Wilkesboro Truck Race with the two All-Star Heat races afterwards for $62. That is a pretty good value. Truck race usually pretty good. You get to see North Wilkesboro and you get to see two heat races, which typically, as far as the All-Star goes, and if you go all the way back to I don't know, Clash of the Coliseum, the heat races are always pretty good for all these events. So that might be the better tickets, especially for the value, bang for the buck, without a doubt, the better ticket there. We all should have known to take the 20, the 20, 24, and the 45 in fantasy. LOL, says OJ, and toothpaste. Yeah, I haven't even looked at my fantasy stuff yet. Not even going to worry about it. Had another disaster there with Zilich, so I'm not worried about the rest of it. The flat underbody could cause temperature inside getting hot, says Chrome Diesel. This thing has been as far as heat. I remember Tyler Reddick talking about it when they were talking about putting vents and all kinds of stuff when they were just developing the car around 2020 or whenever. So it's always trapped heat, just the way it's designed. So hopefully they figure out something to get the drivers cooler, or they at least figure out what was going on with Brad Keselowski and his car in this particular deal, and make it safer for him going forward. Paint schemes you like today, says in between the lanes. The 87 off the top of my head, I had it pulled up. Well, I did an Apple update, so I don't have the paint schemes anymore. But I did do the rundown in the other one. Ross Chastain and Connor Zilich probably going to take the win for best paint schemes today, though, no doubt about it. Chrome Diesel, I would think so. It's trapping heat, says Shaw, talking about the underbody is part of the reason it's trapping heat. The last caution may have cost Kyle Busch the race, says John Bradburn. Yeah, it certainly didn't help him. I don't know if he would have won the race, but that last caution with the strategy he had with older tires and track position, it certainly didn't help him. It would have been nice for him if Christopher Bell had to use his tires passing the 24 car as opposed to using his tires on that restart when Shane Van Gisbergen and a bunch of people got going, got into each other. And either way, it ended up clearing the 20 to have a straight run at the 8 car. Whereas if it had run longer, I still don't know if he would have won, but it would have been more advantageous for him not to have that caution come when that caution came, no doubt about it. Zilich was in my garage. I had the 20, the 24, and the 45 as part of my lineup. Look, he had a good day there. Good day for sure. Chris Buescher continues his sneaky consistency at road course races. Best average finisher at road courses in the next gen car. 7th place today after running mid-pack all race, says Jesse Daly. He was really good. Another one that a lot of people are kind of gonna sleep on is Justin Haley. Justin Haley always runs good at these things too. Where did he end up finishing? 16th. So 16th for Justin Haley. He was up there a little bit higher, but that shuffling at the end sort of got him. And once again, Michael McDowell doing what he does at road courses in the 11th place. He's not a surprise anymore at these jokers, but Carson Hocevar is. Carson Hocevar in 13th, not too far behind his veteran teammate at road courses in 11th. So a good run for old Josephus, where once again, much ado about nothing. A lot of talk about drivers not liking how he drove, but nobody turned him today. So he was free and clear. Did make a little contact with Noah Gragson at one point, but that looked like just solid racing to me. I didn't see anybody take a shot at him. If they did, they didn't show it on TV. 2 cars should be suspended. A right hook is a right hook, says like dislike. So there were a few things NASCAR could probably clean up here. The 2 car turning the 13 or the 16, Ty Dillon got turned. The 13 car, right? So the 13 car gets turned. Ty Dillon by the 2 car. Not exactly what that was even all about. That was at the very beginning of the race, but it was definitely a right hook. So we will see if NASCAR sticks to its word that all right hooks will get a one race, whatever, one race worth of points taken away. I guess is essentially what happened to Austin Dillon or whatever. And we saw what before that, Bubba Wallace on Kyle Larson. He got a one race suspension. So we'll see if NASCAR steps in and does anything about this one, or if they continue to be inconsistent. Another thing that a few people had a little bit of comments and questions about NASCAR was the consistency of the track limits. It seemed like some guys got called for things that other guys didn't get called for. Then midway through the race, they decided that turn 6 would no longer have track limits. It seemed like the drivers didn't have any clear communication as to where the track limits were at certain sections of the racetrack. From the track limits perspective, it kind of was, it looked disorganized from the outside looking in, but I don't know. Maybe somebody on the inside can ask that question about some of those track limits calls there. I know B wanted that to be addressed. So there you go, B. I talked about that a little bit, and I'll try to dig into it deeper for the actual episode. If I can find anything or not is another story. What happened to the 87? Didn't catch it to the last 30 laps, says OJ and Toothpaste. So the 99, I don't know exactly how the 99 got spun or turned around, or if he spun himself, but he ends up going wide, and Connor Zilic went high when he should have gone low, but it was a bang bang. No, he just made a decision, and he made the wrong decision. You didn't have time to think about it. And Zilic ran into the 99, so that took out the 99 and the 87. So that basically kind of ended their day, OJ, and that's why they finished first and second on Earth 2. Was there any surprising mechanical failures today, says Sir Wood Rooster? I mean, Kyle Larson didn't get the wheel put on, so like the single lug nut thing again. But I can't remember. I don't think anybody had anything crazy mechanical happen that I can think of off the top of my head. I think most of it was just wrecks and bad luck and stuff like that. OJ and Toothpaste 87 was involved in a wreck with the 99 early on in the race. 99 hit the curb and spun out when the car landed. So there you go. Suarez spun himself. He got off the curb too hard. He was having a good run before that too, honestly. So spun himself out, and the worst possible thing that can happen, you take out a teammate. So two cars in the same deal for Trackhouse there. But him and Zilic were both running really well before that. Zilic once again had some issues at the beginning, but he had worked his way back up to, I think he was around 9th place when the incident happened. If I was looking at the TV scoring pylon properly at the time that it happened. In places where the track limits should have tires. At places where there should be track limits, you should have tires there, says PC Gone Rogue. So he wants some type of barrier there so they can't just overshoot it. I said hit the curb and spun out when the car landed. Says Timber Race. Wearing my 10 hat, I understand Suarez deliberately ended the Cup Series debut race for his likely replacement, Connor Zilic, says Jamie Schweitzer. There you go. Jamie Schweitzer already got the tinfoil hat on. He saying that Suarez fired the first shot there with what a lot of people are predicting is going to be his successor. I'm not a fan of track limits for NASCAR. If it doesn't have a wall, it should be fair game, says Escobar. That's how it's always been, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it's ever going to come back like that just because of safety and things like that. That's what they'll throw up as reasoning. Larson losing the wheel is not mechanical. That's just bad tire changing. It's one freaking lug nut. It's not that hard to ensure it's tight, says Shaw. Seabell is a very good driver, says OJ and Toothpaste. Indeed. Hopefully more people talk about him. I swapped Elliott out with Suarez. Fantasy right before the end of stage 2. How stupid. Says Jesse Daly. Hey, he was looking good. He was looking good up until that moment, though. Fox scoring ticker sucked today. It was constantly wrong, says Say Kyle. Tell me about it, man. Like, every time I looked, like, there was one point where that thing was jumping around. I don't know, like popcorn when it's getting popped, like, and none of it was right. And I was just like, my God. So it was rough to look at certain points in the race. There's no doubt about it. Hey, BB, you have some Evan Williams mixed up in that Coke. I drank some hard stuff now and again in my diet, which is liquor and Costco hot dogs for breakfast and lunch. I go easy on dinner, says John P. So just beer for dinner, according to John P. No, it's we're all good. It's just regular Pepsi here. Regular Pepsi. Zero sugar. Who spun Larson out with 10 to go, says Escobar. I have no clue. I never saw if they showed. They might have showed it, but I never saw a clear replay of it. Marcus going to be excited for Bill. At least that I saw. They might have showed it. I just might have missed it. Marcus going to be excited for Bill. If you know, you know. Says Monster Shots. A rookie gets his first win in his first Cup race on Earth 2. Hey, there you go, Tim Brace. Nice feeler, bro. Should get him as a sponsor, says Krusty. I wish they would sponsor me. That would be pretty cool. I'll rock some Fila stuff. I swapped Chastain out for Zilich. I feel so I feel the fantasy pain, says say Kyle. And I left him. I left Chastain in the garage and left Zilich in. So there you go. I was in the basically in the same boat, except I did it the opposite way. I was thinking about putting Chastain in, but didn't do it. 99 off track where safety crews come on track. There's a concrete patch. Says Brickyard Brickhead. Joey keeps his record as being the youngest Cup winner ever with Zilich's loss today, says Jamie Schweitzer. So there you go. Jolo continues to own the record for now. As Ad Riverside Senior drive straight. Ad Riverside Senior drove straight through the S turns to pass. Says PC Gone Road, talking about Dale Senior when he went through the S's and went through a lot of dirt to make a pass at Riverside Speedway back when that was a thing, before it became half of a strip mall and some other stuff that never got developed after the property got sold. But we're not bitter about it as NASCAR fans. Best road race I've ever seen since Watkins Glen 2012, Kurt Busch and Keselowski and Ambrose. That was a good one with the oil on the track and they were sliding all over the place. That was a good race for sure. The CW in 3 races has already passed Fox in terms of race coverage. Pretty inexcusable for considering how they have been doing this for decades, says Jesse Daly. It just shows you that it's not a priority to Fox for sure, and that it is a priority for the CW. Even more importantly, don't even know what happened to Logano. Thanks to Fox, he was 7th, and then in the 20s, says Monster Shots. Yep, same here. I don't know what happened to him. I think they said Bubba Wallace spun at the end of the race. I didn't see that. So there was a lot going on apparently in that last lap that we didn't get a chance to see. So no telling. All I know is who finished where, and there were some good drivers that I thought were having good days, and then at the end of the race, they just weren't there, and I don't know exactly what happened to them. I don't know how Justin Haley got to 16th. I feel like he was running pretty good too. So just a lot of stuff went on. They showed the leaders, which they should have done at the end of the race. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but we could have had a side by side for some of this other stuff that was going on here toward the back of the pack. With all the carnage and chaos, or at least give us a replay of it. Priest won stage 2, says in between the lanes. Yeah, I did. I did forget to talk about that. Stage 1 goes to the 23 car. Stage 2 goes to Ryan Priest. So there you go. Those are your stage winners. Forgot to mention that as well. I think it's time for Mike Joy to retire, says Escobar. It depends on who they replace him with. He's still better than a lot of guys out there. So be careful what you wish for is all I'll say about that. It sucked when Fox came back from commercial. That would just start showing other stuff besides the race. Yeah, they do have a problem with that. Once you come back from commercial, you should immediately get back to the race. If you want to do those little side stories or whatever, do it at a point in the race where there's nothing really happening on the racetrack. Road courses suck, says Mike Concho. Noah ran a heck of a race, says Tim Brace. He did. Really, really good race for Noah Gragson. I was waiting to see what happened when Chase got back to Ross as well. Obviously, nothing happened, but I was waiting for it, says Monster Shots. I wanted to see some context between SVG and the one car as well, because SVG moved the one car. I don't know if that's because he had pressure coming behind him or if that was something that Ross had done to him previously. But I would have liked to seen a replay as to why all that went down as well. Jesse Daly agreeing with Escobar. I agree. Mike Joy's time has passed. Wonder why Fox is going to FS1 for the next 6 races. Probably so people buy FS1 or whatever they got to buy to have FS1 would be my guess as far as that goes. Fox NASCAR TV producer needs to be fired immediately, says Joseph Wooten. Was Front Row Motorsports the highest finishing Ford? I think it was RFK. I think. Yeah, Chris Buescher, RFK, would be the highest finishing one there for the Ford gang. Jesse Daly, I won't lie. I never really cared for Mike Joy. I respect his knowledge, but lately he's just dull, says Escobar. I got the podium in Fantasy League on Earth 2 with with someone getting all the points, says Sir Wood Rooster. So there you go. Wood Rooster gets the win on Earth 2 in fantasy. At least I'm not the only one that thinks Mike Joy should retire, says Shaw. There's a lot of people out there that think that, but I would like to know who you would want him to who you want to replace him. It's easy to say somebody should be gone, but we got to replace him with somebody. So that's the real question if you want him gone. Let's see. That's some good spelling right there, says Shaw. For sure. No problem. I still read it. So I was able to figure it out, and I didn't even pay attention that it was spelled wrong because I too, my friend, spell poorly. All right. Looks like that's the end of it. Final results of the poll question. 86% saying yes. The new Cota layout for the track was a success. So there you go. 86%. That's the most overwhelming poll we've had in quite some time. All right. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out. Check you on the next one. Peace.